Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Lancescurv. I have to say that to wake up with enthusiasm in the morning time is the best thing in the world. When you're getting your rest, when your mind is clear, you don't have anything infiltrating your mind, and things come to you. And I'm going to sound really, really weird right now, but you know me, I'm a weird guy anyway, but to me, I'm normal, right? But my sleep has been getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Up in the mountains here, right? And where I sleep, it is so quiet. There's a wall right next to where I sleep now. And because of the work being done inside, my bedroom has been like literally all over the house. So it's like, we're going to do work in this room this week. Okay, I got to take my bed and move it around. So instead of taking a bed moving around, I just said, hey, I'll just sleep on a box spring and a mattress, right? So this particular room I'm sleeping in, I don't have to move it anymore. And I like it there. It is so quiet. Although I have neighbors next door on both sides, and some could be very noisy, the side that I sleep on is away from that. And I'm in my own world. And I sleep deep and I dream deep. And songs come to me, and the songs are attached to memories. Okay? And I want to know if you ever go through this. I'm sleeping deep, and right before I wake up, all the way, I might get up to tinkle and go right back to bed. But then right before, like an hour and a half, as I'm coming up out of the sleep naturally, because it's not like you're sleeping and you wake up. No, it's a gradual process. It's like you're going deep underwater, and your deepest REM sleep is way underwater. And then you come up slowly, right? So coming up out of it, you begin to see, like, imagine you are underwater and there's sunlight and everything, but you go so deep you can't see the sunlight anymore. But as you begin to come up out of the water, say the ocean, you get closer to the surface, you begin to see flickers of light, consciousness. And so it is at that point that I would say my subconscious mind is connecting with my conscious mind, because I'm still there in the darkness while I see the flickering of light above me, symbolically. That being said, when I hear music, in my head, I'm deep sleeping. It's like a guide for me. And I want to know if you've ever had these experiences. So the song that I heard was a song named, by Jerry Knight, Overnight Sensation. I think it was 1980 that it came out. Now, 1980 was the first year that I began competing as a bodybuilder at 16 years old. And so with our neighborhood buddies, Juan Rivera, Joey Carrasquillo, Michael Scott, Manny Lopez, I got some other names I could name, but they're private people, so I'm not going to name their names. We would go all over. And while I looked good for the street, and I'm not editing anything out, I'm just waking up, so I'm clearing my throat, right? Still, I wasn't on a level, and I looked good for my age, but I wasn't on the level of the guys that were 18 and 19 and been doing this thing for years. Even though I was training for a few years. From nothing to something to be able to compete, which is phenomenal. It's a whole different level. So there were some shows that we went to in Orange, New Jersey, by the Orange Y, or sponsored by the Orange YMCA. And I can't recall exactly where they were. They might have been sponsored by the Orange, New Jersey YMCA, but they might have been held somewhere, maybe in a school auditorium, as they usually do. And the song by Jerry Knight, I'm sorry, I said Terry Knight, right? Jerry Knight, Overnight Sensation. I'll drop the link down there. It's a song from 1980. I attached that somehow, some way, because you all know that I attach music to people, places, and things. And that way, I've always known, excuse me, I'm really bad on this one. Sorry, I just have to get this out because I just woke up. When I do that, it gives me a tremendous sense of recall, because while the song is playing in my head or I'm hearing it, I'm really looking at every detail without forcing it, just absorbing it. And I remember this song, and I attached it to a young man named Dwayne Broadway, a competitive bodybuilder. I calculated it now after hearing an interview recently, this morning, that he's 5 years older than me. So when I was 16, just going into competitions, he was already 21 years old, but he was winning competitions. Okay. You had guys who were on steroids and different things. This particular competition where I first saw him, because there was several of them, right? Like, he won them all. And he wasn't some drugged out looking, massive looking, whatever. And I always had a certain feeling toward him, like he was my brother, like he was my older brother, right? From a distance, because you're around these guys, you're backstage, you're pumping up, but you're in awe that you're back there in a bodybuilding contest, like not just going to one, but you're in it. But I'm nothing compared to the older guys, right? So I would observe him. I think he said hi to me one time or something or whatever. I became a familiar face going out into Jersey and all the competitions in New York City and some in Pennsylvania, Maryland, all of it, all up and down the East Coast, Boston, Massachusetts, just with the crew of guys that we trained with in Queens, New York at the Powerhouse Gym, right? On 131st and Liberty. This is some real history here, right? Which means nothing. This is not the point that I want to make. I thought about him. I said, let me Google his name. Now, unfortunately, at this age group, I'm used to always finding bad news. Oh, he passed away 10 years ago. Oh, he died of cancer. Oh, he was drugged out. Or not this guy. I'm just saying in general. And I'm quite sure you can identify with that to say, well, I've searched for a person, maybe a high school crush or an old teacher. And you said, man, they've been gone for like so many years, but they're still in your mind. They're still fresh in your head. We're still connected, right? This man, Dwayne Broadway, is alive. Not only is he alive, he's still training and looking good and looking young. And he's been a lifetime natural bodybuilder. And it hit me. And I got so angry with myself. I said, you know what? I left bodybuilding because I was so sick of the guys using steroids and having an unfair advantage over me. I should have never done that. I should have continued to train. And look how many years later, how many decades later, this guy is still looking good, right? And he has so much enthusiasm, and he is a natural bodybuilder. I've always been a natural bodybuilder, trying to compete with the guys on drugs who can train hours, 6 days a week, and stuff all this food down and abuse their bodies. And I saw how sick it was, and I left. I stopped it. My last competition was in April of 1985, and I was looking real, real good. Real good. I shouldn't have let that happen. But as I searched Dwayne Broadway, I found an Instagram page. He's active. He's running an organization there in New Jersey for natural bodybuilders. That's what I should have got caught up in. But the thing is, the enthusiasm I have now, I would always say for years, oh, I'm going to start. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to go back to that feeling of, which I'm not thinking about competing, but I did it so deeply and so long. I mean, from 16 years old on the stage and a couple years of training before that, and all of these competitions that I was in, it wasn't like I did it once a year. I was in dozens and dozens and dozens, and I dropped blood for this thing only to realize that there were unfair advantages that I would never do. And I was scared of it. And I'm glad I was scared of it, because you know what? I'm alive now. So the subconscious mind coming up out of sleep, the song that I heard in my mind, and as I woke up, it kept playing in my head. Now, I'm not crazy where I can't control my thoughts, but I kept humming this song. What was it? You see, God works in mysterious ways. And whatever you want to call God, whatever, look, and if you're mad at me calling God, that's just unsubscribe and get away from me. You're a weirdo. We didn't make ourselves. We didn't make ourselves. And okay, let me cut this phone off, because as soon as I start to record something, I usually do keep it off. But when I start getting down in the talk, it's like a magic power. People start, let me text Lance. So let me knock this out. Y'all can text me on a dead phone. Okay. So listen to yourself, listen to your mind, listen to your intuition. Maybe you don't think like me, as crazy as I do, and have decades and decades of associated songs with people, places, and things, but I have a tremendous sense of recall, attention to detail. I don't forget things. And there are a lot of people who don't like me because of that, because, when people do bad things to you, they hope you forget, or they'll say, oh, that was a long time ago. No, you still did it. Let's keep that same energy and stay away from me. But when I heard the enthusiasm of Dwayne Broadway in the interviews that he did, seeing him and just that, we don't know what effect we have on people around us, close and far, people who observe us. It's like playing tag, and you say, tag, you're it. Well, people can tag you without even touching you, and share the energy and enthusiasm that you have for something. And I just have to say, with his training philosophy presently as a 67-year-old, with his enthusiasm to go to the gym, which is not 6 days a week, he trains 3 days a week now. He's natural. He doesn't have to do all of that. And that was another sticking point of mine, because I was killing it every day. Sometimes I go 7 days a week, and I was wondering why my enthusiasm was going down. And then you see these guys on these drugs, and they keep beating themselves down, and a lot of them are gone now. And I look at the guys today. I still follow bodybuilding, but I know what it is. It's chemical warfare. It's chemical warfare. And these guys develop so fast, but they don't last long. But they understand this also. They understand that it's taking years off your life. And I never wanted to do that. So if there's anybody out there who's getting into bodybuilding or any kind of sports at all, where they suggest that you take some type of drug to enhance your performance, you don't want to do that. Trust me. And even though I haven't trained in all these decades, my enthusiasm for life is up. I don't think any different as far as my enthusiasm. I know a lot more. I'm a lot wiser. But the bottom line is, I'm glad I never put those substances in my body, because right now I can say, boy, when I build this gym in my house, I'm going to add on an extra room or two and make a gym for myself and train. And it's timeless. Like he said, Dwayne Broadway, it's no different than when he was 12 years old and started training. That's amazing to me, and to see this guy and know this guy and I can't say from a distance, like I just saw him on TV. I've been in competitions with him, not with him because he was always in the open division and I was a teenager. But the funny thing about it is, I went to a site called musclememory.com and I put my name in there. And that's a site that archives a lot of the bodybuilding contests, large and small. And I have a few contests that I was in, because they would extract information from magazines back in the day. And I've been in more competitions than I was in magazines, right? So I have a few that were there from 1980 and 1982, but I've been in several dozen competitions, right? So that being said, I looked at it because I said, wait a second, I think Dwayne Broadway was in that competition in the open division. And lo and behold, he won the medium class. Let me see here. Let me just give it to you the way it is. Yeah, the tall, they did it by height. Tall, medium, and short. He was number one in the medium class. And I was proud to say the teenage overall winner was me, Lancescurv. And they put me in a tall class for some reason. I don't know why they did that. I know why they did that looking back. I know why they did that. But anyway, that's irrelevant. It's a political thing, the reason why they did that. Because I was in a fierce competition with this other guy. I think he was from Jersey also. But this competition I'm talking about was upstate New York. So all the regional things with teenagers and stuff, we would go into some of the same shows. And I beat this guy. He beat me earlier that year in the middleweight division. But now this competition had it done by height. They put me in the tall class. They put him in the short class because it was tall and short. I guess they wanted me and him to face off. And they didn't want me to beat him because I was phenomenal. I made a lot of progress that year. But anyway, neither here nor there. Dwayne Broadway was there. I was there. He won his class. He didn't win the overall. Mike Ashley did. I know Mike Ashley very well. He trained at my gym back in those days. And the memories, but to see that his enthusiasm, Dwayne Broadway I'm talking about, never waned. You do what you do because you love it. And that's why I do what I do. Even now people say, well, you have this new channel, man. You're not getting as many hits. Ha, ha, ha. I love what I do. And when you love what you do, over time, things accumulate. Attention gets there, and it's just, I don't care about that. The ones who are here with me now, I love you all. I'm here with you. I'm living a new life. Why am I worried about it's on YouTube when I look at this beautiful home that I'm in the country, over the mountain? I'll say it as a joke, as old as I am, with as much enthusiasm as I have, what am I mad about that for? Sometimes I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna do something today. I don't think I did nothing yesterday. I was out enjoying myself. And it has to come from within. Anything you do, it shouldn't be where you're chasing from the external. It's got to be the joy that you have from the internal. And for me to hear that song and think about Dwayne Broadway, I didn't have his phone number. I didn't know him like that. Always a nice guy, though. From always a nice guy. And I've talked to him too, briefly. But man, these are the people that you want to keep in your life, near and far. These people with these strange ideologies, these people trying to control you or keep you from your destiny. Look for the Dwayne Broadways in your life, whoever it may be. It might be an old school, high school teacher. It might be a neighbor around the corner. It might be the person that you commute with every day on the bus or the train, but you gravitate toward each other in conversation. Life is wonderful, y'all. I can say at this point, I've been through a lot, but I'm not going to focus on those things. I've healed up from so much, and I'm just so happy that this day is a gift to me. And I woke up and I'm looking for more signals. I'm looking for more signs that come to me. But the only way you're going to get these signs and signals is when you're clean and cleansed of the toxic things that can get on your heart and in your mind. So nothing can touch me now. I'm not going to say I'm an introvert, because I'm an extrovert and an introvert. There's a special word for that. You can't be both 24/7, but I got to research and find out what that word is. But I really value my quiet time. I really value my alone time. It makes me so strong. And I'm wondering what the next song is going to be when I wake up. Because every time I wake up, there's a song. And even throughout the day, songs come to me from the past. And it makes you think about people. And it makes you think about their effect on me. And sometimes the effect may not be so good, but I understand why. So now I know how to avoid these energies. And I'm so happy that there are individuals who have revealed themselves, and be happy that there are people who have displayed their hand. Like when you're playing a hand, you have a hand of cards, right? And you hide your hand because now it might be a good hand or a bad hand, and people show their hand and they show what was inside of them. And you're like, oh man, I've been betrayed. But you know what? That's a blessing, because now you know. Now you don't have to deal. Now they can't come into your inner circle, your inner space, and try to destroy your enthusiasm for your craft, for the things you love to do. You decide how you live. You choose your happiness. You choose what you want to do. Don't let anybody tell you you're selfish. You're into yourself. So what are you supposed to do? Open up the floodgates and let all these odd spirits in and control your life force for their wicked benefit? No. So from this point on, unless you are positive, unless you are enthusiastic about something, because those are the signs that I look for when I deal with people in my life now. What are you about? What are you going after? If you keep coming to me with gossip, that means you're going to run to somebody else with gossip on me. And that has been done. And I vehemently avoid and keep these people away from me, because they would just gnaw away at your life. They'll smile with you, but they'll running back and forth. No. And now that I'm at this point of people would say isolation, it's not isolation. I have me to me, my energy to myself, and I can do whatever I want to do today. If I choose not to speak on an audio or do a video, I don't have to. I can go down to the beach. You know what I mean? I can walk around down into the nice areas and window shop all day. I can stay home and lay in the bed no, but I never really lay in the bed like that. I got too much to do. You know, I'm still embellishing this studio down to the last detail. I found the specialty lights that I want. Oh, they're beautiful. I got to take my time and buy them because, you know, a little bit at a time. But when they're put in, I know the symbols that I want to hand paint into the ceiling. So artistically, creatively, spending time going after something that lets everybody know what I'm about, because there are results. instead of sitting at home surfing all day, peeping at people, page watching, all of that stuff. Getting different profiles and trying to send a scathing message to discourage somebody. It won't work. The Dwayne Broadways in my life keep me up. And I'm going to reach out to him because he's got contact information, and I want to let him know the effect that he has on my life, even more so after finding out he's still training, he's still enthusiastic, he's retired, but he looks so young and so good. And I don't know what my secret is, but I haven't been training, but once I start, woo! So that being said, I'm going to get ready for the day. I'm going to take a long walk up in the mountains. I'm not even worried about coming back. I'll come back. What I'm saying, I'll take a van back if I go too far. But there's over on the other side of the mountain, there's a city, a town over there that I always want to explore. It's a nice area. I can't say downtown because it's a village, but it's real busy. And I want to see what's going on over there. And you know what? I know I'm going to meet wonderful people. And every time I say that, it happens. To the point where wherever I go, I'm meeting more and more. I mean, you get the people who know you and want to get over on you. They think you got money or something like that. But real, genuine people. And this is what's making me feel more and more at home here. More so. And I've experienced that before. And that's a law. I don't know what the law is, but I'll tell you like this. When I lived in New York City, back in the day growing up, I lived there for 38 and a half years. And those 38 and a half years, it wasn't just a regular, I lived there for 38 and a half years. No, I explored every nook and cranny. I know what's going on up there, and I knew what was going on out there, and I had an early start. You all know my story for those who have been here for a while. But when I thought about moving to Florida, it was either Atlanta or Florida. Boy, I'm glad I chose Florida. I'm not knocking nobody's lifestyle, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. Even though it's down there too in Orlando. But it was a choice between the two. And when I was working at Crossing Over with John Edwards, that TV show, that I got on the computer, and that's when I was deciding to leave and sell the house and everything. And I did. And my thoughts then were, this is before I even moved and went down there. I said, you know what? I have friends down there that I haven't met yet. And even though Orlando can be a strange place, people are clicked up, their little crews and different things. I got a chance to meet a lot of wonderful people that I didn't know yet. And then, thinking about Orlando, it was far away, different climate. I'm like, man, that's somewhere else. So then I moved down, went through the changes of moving down and selling and getting into jobs and stuff like that. And slowly but surely, New York City became that place that started to get distant. New York City, where I was born and raised and knew so well, was somewhere else. And I dug my roots deep in Orlando for the time that I was there, for the 19 years that I was there. And so with the prospect of moving to West Africa, in Ghana, a whole different country. And I didn't know certain things about this place. This is the center of the world, the planet. Because the Western Hemisphere, the Eastern Hemisphere, this part of Africa, it's in all the hemispheres. 0 latitude and 0 longitude. Amazing. Wherever there's a sunrise here, there's a sunset here. There's a certain energy here that even some of the people here don't even realize. And this is part of another adventure. Even though I've been here, by September, it'll make 5 years. I'm just getting started. And we had to go through certain things so certain knuckleheads can show their hand so we can know not to have to deal with them. So I'm completely free. I have my citizenship now. Everything is legit. I have some very high-powered connections here. And it's what if I didn't make the leap? But more and more now, the same law that I've been here for this amount of time, America is becoming a distant place to me. America is becoming that somewhere else. We can go anywhere on the planet that we want to. You have people who are upset that I left. They weren't even into me. Who do you think he is? He left. Come on, man. Really? If I'm in a stink room that smells of feces and you're in there with me too and I leave, you're mad that I left? find your way to leave or find your way to make a better life. Some people are so cranky, disgruntled, evil, envious, watching people sideways. Yes, I'm living a wonderful life, and I am not going to apologize for it. Certain things, I thought that it was me who thought it out, but it was the Creator, my God, that placed me here, and it's all working out beautiful. It's a beautiful time. So for me to be able to unearth the things that are deep in my subconscious mind, to learn a life lesson and to be able to share it is a wonderful thing. And at this age, so-called, to be able to have this kind of enthusiasm where, yes, pretty much there's probably more behind me than there is ahead of me. But as I move ahead, move forward, it's even sweeter than it's ever been before. And I want to thank you for being a part of this journey. Those who may not be around there with me, hey, you showed your hand. We know who you are. It's a beautiful thing. It was nice while it lasted. But I'm going to be a Dwayne Broadway to so many other people because I'm not going to stop living life with this kind of enthusiasm. And years from now, if a person searches my name and say, man, Lance is still doing this. Man, Lance moved to even another country and he did this. Maybe I'll stay here for the rest of my life. Maybe I'll go somewhere else. I don't know. I can do that. I'm not chained to any ideology. You know, because you have people out here who try to push their ideologies on you and, you know, the ancestors and blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's cool. We have ancestors, you know what I mean? But for me, these people who push these ideologies, they have severe mental illnesses. You talk about your ancestors, but guess what? You can't stand your father. Wasn't he an ancestor? I'm just saying, for example, I love my parents. My parents love me. Wherever their energy is, they love me and I love them. I love them. They love me. That's the way it is. So if you've got to isolate to protect your peace of mind, to protect your motivation, to protect your spirit, by all means, do it. Wear those spiritual condoms as if your life depended on it, because you know what? It does.
Lancescurv.com. Bold, raw, and uncut.